We are just a few short hours away from Laura making landfall along the Louisiana and Texas coast. This is a live look at Galveston, Texas tonight. It's dark out, but you can see the waves there in the distance. They are getting bigger as Laura makes its way closer to the coast. Good evening, everyone. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Cherise Gibson. Now, as we just mentioned, Laura is getting closer and closer to making landfall. And we just got another update from the National Hurricane Center. So let's head right over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin with the latest.
And yeah, I guess I'm just always the ever optimist, trying to find some good news in all of this. And the one bit of good news is that the storm has not intensified, and we're probably within about 2 hours of the storm making landfall, as the center, the northern eye wall, will be moving right along the Louisiana coast. I would venture to say right around midnight or thereabouts. As the storm itself as well, you look at some of the cloud tops, we saw a lot of those bright reds in a wide area. They have started to contract a bit near the center. So it looks like, and what happens with these storms is they do fluctuate in strength, and it looks like it may be on kind of a weakening trend at the moment. Now, we're not going to see a strengthening trend because as that process would begin, the center is going to be moving over land. So it does look like we've started to see at least the more intense storms kind of contract, now more focused right around the center. And as I mentioned, it is shortly going to be making landfall. Some of the heaviest of the rain is just now, within the last couple of hours, started to move into the Lake Charles area, Abbeville area, and pushing northward as the center is just about 75 miles south of Lake Charles. And we have definitely seen over the last several hours, really since earlier this afternoon, a more northerly than northwesterly motion to that forward speed. And the forward speed has not changed, still at 15 miles an hour. Winds remain at still a devastating 150, but this could have easily become a Category 5 storm, and that is looking less and less likely as, again, the center of it, the northern eye wall, is going to be crossing the coastline, and then we should begin to see some weakening. Still some very intense storms, though, that will be moving across the Lake Charles area early this morning or early tomorrow morning, and then throughout the morning, moving northward, weakening, and then finally putting this nightmare to rest. We're looking at more rainfall here, though, as we get into the day tomorrow. We had those bands that moved through, several tornado warnings that had been issued. It looks like as far as southeast Louisiana goes, things are settling down for the time being, but expect more of those bands to start moving our way through the overnight, but even more so tomorrow as the center of Laura moves inland and begins pushing north and eventually northeasterly. We are going to see some of those heavier rain bands moving over us. Right now, things are kind of settling down as far as we are concerned, but it is just starting to ramp up across southwest Louisiana. We'll have a more detailed look at the forecast in just a few minutes.